Say Planet Glee. Buenas noches. It's another beautiful Friday night here in San Francisco, and there have been a lot of things happening lately in the news, and I think that we have a lot of reason to think more about these things and talk deeply about them, hopefully. So, excuse
Good
me.
introduction.
Yes, we have an esteemed guest tonight. We are also going to be looking at a website. And, so put on your thinking caps. Think about what's going on in the world and what concerns you. And Colin, right now I'm going to show you our esteemed guest. Actually, all his info is on there, so we're all good. So, his name is Julian Lagos.
Formerly JP on Deep Politics. And I want to thank you for inviting me and I feel it's an honor to be on Planet Glee. I've always wondered what it would be like to be a guest on Planet Glee, and now here I am, and I want to thank you for inviting me.
Oh, Julian, it's my honor to have you because every time I look on my Facebook page and I see something more interesting than I have to look at it because, politically I think that you're very aware.
Yeah, probably too aware, Jennifer, and it sort of boggles my mind, and it sort of consumes my life, more or less, and how I go about living my life and imparting the values that I like to impart to people about our world and about our wildlife, our environment, and our the political scheme of things here on planet Earth. So politics I think is very important. Unfortunately, most people here, at least in America, hate politics. There's been all sorts of surveys done about Americans' attitudes towards politics, and most Americans actually loathe politics, and that's too bad because it's a controlling factor in their life. It's a major controlling factor. So that's why I did the program I did here on public access, and I will continue to do it on the radio side soon, and I'll announce that, I guess, later on in your program.
Okay, great.
Yeah.
What do you think is one of the more pressing issues that we should be talking about? There's so many. What comes to mind at the moment?
Well, I think America's penchant for war is a major problem for the world. I've seen a number of commentators who have, and including a number of world leaders who maintain that America is one of the biggest threats to world peace because of its penchant for war, going to war in various parts of the world, occupying various countries either militarily or economically. And I think that's a major issue that Americans have to start dealing with because it's starting to implode the economy. The national debt is up to $20 trillion, and that's not sustainable. It's destroying the economy. It's putting people out of work, and so I think that's one of the major issues is war, as well as the environment, especially with this latest fiasco and catastrophe in the Gulf.
And now we're hearing that there's going to be a tropical storm.
Right.
Not a hurricane, a tropical storm.
Right.
And that is going to drive all the people who are working on the well away.
Well, they've already shut down.
Yeah.
The skimming operations, and the word unofficially is that the government perhaps may intend to evacuate hundreds of thousands to millions of people because of the effects from what could happen from that storm, or what might develop into a hurricane because of the oil being absorbed into the air and then coming down oil, and of course the dispersants, the correct dispersants, which by the way, a lot of people don't know, is banned in Europe. Correxic is not used by any European country as a dispersant. So that's a major story, as well as what a lot of scientists believe is that that leak is not necessarily sealed off.
No.
Right.
No.
And there are concerns about perhaps their efforts having tapped into some methane gas deposits that might even be worse for the environment and for the health of everybody. I mean, it's incredible. This story is definitely the story of the year, or it comes close to being the news and the catastrophic event of the year, maybe the decade. It remains to be seen. But I don't think this story's over. And
not at all.
Yeah.
I just want to say to those of you who may have just turned in that this is Planet Glee. And if you haven't seen Planet Glee before, Planet Glee is a show. It's a call-in show here on SF Commons. And we really encourage you to call in. Our number is not on the screen. So therefore, that's why you don't know to call in. What is our number, by the way?
It looks like it's 861-6648.
861-6648.
Right.
Well, when Julian, you get a chance to tell us a little bit more about what's going on with you, I am going to go over here and change it so we can put the phone number up there.
Okay.
Because we'd really like to have a forum here tonight.
Oh, sure. This is live TV.
It's live TV. I love it. It's improv. I'm gonna throw the little ball to you.
Okay. So, war, the environment, the economy, of course. You have millions of people out of work. The government continues to pay out unemployment benefits to people who have been out of work for going on 2 to 3 years, and there's no light at the tunnel for the economy in terms of where that's headed. Like I said earlier, the country being $20 trillion in debt and pretty much...
excuse me, we got a call.
We got a call, all right.
Yay! Okay. Caller, I think we can hear you. Hello? Hello?
Hello, Jennifer.
Hello?
This is Mike.
Hi, Mike. How are you doing tonight?
Great. And how's everybody there?
Well, we are having ourselves we're trying not to cry right now.
It looks pretty grim for the world and for the U.S.
Well, I'd like to ask your guest, one of the things that our president campaigned on was change. And what type of, you believe that he represents any sort of significant change from the last administration in terms of environmental or in terms of military policy?
No, actually, I don't think he represents any change at all. I would say it's a continuation of the former Bush policies of going to war and of, basically pursuing the same policies of non-interference in terms of the environment. It's incredible that this administration has allowed British Petroleum to basically run the operation down in the Gulf and dictate to the White House how things are going to be done. So that should give you an idea as to who's calling the shots. And Obama, having been one of the best funded president in terms of campaign funding in history, should tell you where the interests lie for Obama in this country. He had over $1 billion spent on his campaign, and most of that money came from Wall Street. It didn't come from working people like you and I. Barack Obama is indebted to Wall